Belarus leader, Alexander Lukashenko, said Belarus and Russia would deploy a joint military task force on the country's western borders in response to what he called an aggravation of tension. Moldova's foreign minister Nicu Popescu summoned Russia's ambassador to explain why missiles launched from the Black Sea into Ukraine crossed Moldova's airspace. Poland's border guard said that the electricity has failed on Ukraine's side of border crossings at Medyka and Korksoa, but that they are still working normally. The crossings border Ukraine's Lviv region, where there are reported power outages after Russian strikes on critical infrastructure earlier this morning. A power line that was cut by shelling of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has been restored, according to the chief of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Engineers restored external power to Zaporizhzhia NPP today, a day after the facility lost the connection to this last remaining operating power line due to shelling, enabling ZNPP to start switching off its emergency diesel generators, the IAEA said. Denmark's Baltic Sea island of Bornholm, located near the presumed sabotage attack on Nord Stream's gas pipelines, on Monday suffered an unexplained power outage, electricity operator Energenet said. Latvia's Prime Minister, Krišjānis Kariņš, has called on EU leaders to stop all tourist visas for Russians, reigniting the debate about further tightening sanctions against Vladimir Putin's Russia. Russia has launched a massive wave of strikes targeting cities across Ukraine in response to an attack on the Kerch Bridge linking Russia and Crimea. Barely hours after the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, denounced the bridge attack on Saturday as an act of terrorism that he blamed on Ukraine's secret services. Missiles slammed into the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, during morning rush hour, striking targets including a popular tourist bridge and a major road junction. Early reports said at least 8 people had been killed. According to Ukraine's military, by mid-morning on Monday, 75 missiles had been launched, of which it claimed over 40 had been intercepted. In an update in the midst of the attack, the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, said Russia had fired dozens of missiles as well as Iranian-made kamikaze drones, adding that Russia's main targets appeared to be energy infrastructure and civilians. Ukraine's Prime Minister, Denis Shmyhal, said 11 infrastructure facilities in 8 regions and in the capital, Kyiv, had been damaged in the Russian strikes. Ukraine's Foreign Minister, Dmytro Kuleba, made an immediate appeal to the West for the supply of increased air defense systems. Zelensky said he had agreed with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz an urgent meeting of G7 leaders in response. Kuleba has cut short a tour of African nations to return to Kyiv. In an urgent round of diplomatic calls, Scholz, French President Emmanuel Macron, and the UK's Foreign Secretary James Cleverly all reiterated their support for Ukraine. Alexander De Croo said the bombardment of Ukraine's capital Kyiv and of civilian targets in other Ukrainian cities on Monday was a reprehensible act by Russia. The BBC's Hugo Bachega ducked for cover during a live broadcast, which was interrupted as rockets rained down on Kyiv.